Now, the clamor for restructuring true federalism as well as Igbo presidency ahead of the 2023 election has intensified. While many say only a deviation from the 1999 constitution is the only way forward for Nigeria, others say there is more to it. And until the country returns to proper restructuring and decentralization, Nigeria may keep going round the clock. Joining us to discuss the story is Dr. Asuko Mendie Archibong, an attorney at law practicing in the United States. Dr. Archibong joins us from Uyo. Good to have you, sir. Now, let's talk about the issue of restructuring first. Where are we on it? Now, is it a fail-proof option to current challenges relating to Nigeria's governance?
It definitely is not. And thank you for having me. It definitely is not. Let's see. Will restructuring change the mindset of the people in Nigeria? No. Will it change the quality and character of the leaders in each region, in each state? No. Presently, with what they do have, are they doing the very, very best they can do? Definitely not. When we look at the ills of this country, the things that ail us, we generally tend to look up to the federal government of Nigeria and say, look, the federal government has failed. But really, at the point of governance, the government that really touches the everyday living standard of the individual Nigerian or collective Nigerian is the local government area and the state government. So when we restructure, what will happen? Generally, people want restructuring so that the states and the regions can have more resources and more funds available to them. Well, I can tell you that it will simply just mean that there will be more opportunity for corruption to thrive and for people to pillage and plunder the resources of the country. That does not mean that we should not consider restructuring. It simply means that we should reconsider restructuring and take it one step at a time. When you look, let me give you an example. We talk about restructuring in terms of jurisdiction meaning police force and the judiciary. When you look at the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria, and then you look at the State Independent Electoral Commission in each of the states, which one really has more independence? I think the one at the national, at the federal, has more independence. It's become a joke and it's become a charade at the state level, what we do have and term them as elections. Take the recent local government elections that have taken place. It's been a case of selection, and not all the political parties who were eligible to participate agreed to participate because it just was a preordained situation whereby the state, using its state resources, have control and have taken control of the State Independent Electoral Commission and thereby force the outcome of the elections. Let's now look at the police force. If you give the states a state police force, this does not mean I'm against the state having their police force. I'm just saying, let's see what is on ground today. If you give the states the police force that they're clamoring for, will it be differently handled and managed from the different task force that we do see today in the different states? Most of these task forces are just so violent. It's difficult to understand what the effectiveness of the task force has been. Will the state police force be handled in the same way? Well, time will tell if you give the states that kind of power. When you look at the restructuring, clamoring for it because they want to go back to the good old years of 1955 to 1960 to 1966. Well, things have generally really changed from that time till now because we have no longer regions, but we do have different states.
Now, I would like to move on to the Igbo Presidency in 2023. I really wanted to gauge your thoughts regarding that, the call for an Igbo Presidency in the year 2023. What's your take? What do you think? And what are your thoughts?
Well, let me tell you this. There will never be an Igbo Presidency in the Federation of Nigeria. It will never happen. We may have a president that, comes from Igbo land, that is an Igbo man or Igbo woman. But to say that there will be an Igbo presidency in Nigeria, what will you call him? You'll go to the village and introduce him as the Igbo president of Nigeria? No, that's not going to happen. What will happen is that we are going to have qualified persons who will then come into the presidency and move the country forward. this clamor for Igbo presidency is just not going to really work. We need a person that understands what is happening in Nigeria, and that person that will bring about different changes in Nigeria.
Indeed, Dr. Archibong, still on the Igbo presidency for 2023, is it enough to lay claim to the presidency by the Southeast? Has the region engaged other ethnic groups enough to aspire to lead Nigeria realistically?
I'm sorry, there was a little bit of a lag there. Can you just repeat?
All right,
that
I'll take that question again. Is it enough to lay claim to the presidency by the Southeast? Has the region engaged other ethnic groups enough to aspire to lead Nigeria realistically?
Well, when you say the Southeast, remember we also have the South-South, whatever that kind of terminology is and where it comes from. We have the West as well. Generally, if you begin to give them by region, you'll find out you'll soon have Midwest popping up again. It's not a case of the Southeast bringing up a president. It's a case of the right person coming up to be able to lead the Federation of Nigeria from the present state of doldrums into a very lively first world country. So it's irrelevant where a person comes from. What is relevant is, does this person have the character to be able to lead Nigeria? Is this person an honest individual that will do the right thing for the Federation of Nigeria and for the people of Nigeria? Will this person be able, does he have the competence? Will this person eschew the politics of nepotism, the politics of tribalism, politics of corruption, politics of fraud, and put Nigeria first? When we find that person, regardless of where that person comes from, Borno State, Sokoto State, Benue State, Ondo State, Akwa Ibom State, that is the right person that should be able to lead the Federation of Nigeria. Not a person from the Southeast, not a person from the North Central, not a person from the Northwest, but a Nigerian that has the qualities that we do need to be able to lead the Federation of Nigeria. The most significant and the dispositive reason that most people want the presidency to come to their own area or to be a person that is from their area is because, one, they want to know the president in person. Two, they want the countrymen, they want the benefits of the presidency to accrue to their own area. But that will be to the detriment of the other areas of the Federation of Nigeria. The president should actually be a person that is a leader, that is a father, that is a president to all of Nigeria, and not a person that will corner and garner all the resources of Nigeria for a specific region. It's irrelevant where the person comes from. What is relevant again? That the person is a person of character.
Now, I'm glad you raised some of those points, because I was going to ask you about that very briefly as well, because you talk about character, you talk about the right person, and you say it's not relevant. But as a democratic nation, should we even be considering, rotating power on the basis of a candidate's tribe?
Definitely not. Why? There is nothing like that in the Constitution. When you think about it, it came out from the fact that they were trying to do some level of balancing of power in the PDP, and it was just a misled, misconstrued, ill thought out, poorly reasoned policy to say, hey, the presidency will come from the north, and the next time it will come from the south. Which side is the south? If it comes from south-south, the southwest also feels left out. If it comes from the southeast, it's difficult. It's not in the Constitution. Let's do away with it. It is irrelevant. What is relevant again is that the person is a Nigerian that has the best interest of Nigeria at heart. What I see people doing is to say, someone from my region must be president so that I can have the benefit of the presidency of Nigeria. It simply means that there is something wrong. If somebody says they want to leave the Federation of Nigeria, and then at the same time, same breath, they say, we want the presidency of Nigeria, I think they should really, really just sit back and say, what do we really want? To leave the Federation of Nigeria or to remain in the Federation of Nigeria? Nigeria is indivisible. We've gone beyond that point. What is also significant is that we must support the right person to lead the Federation of Nigeria.
Indeed, interesting perspective there. Dr. Asuku Archibong, a lawyer, politician, I'd like to thank you for your thoughts on those issues. Good to have you.